Let us now settle into a spirit of worship with a moment of quiet to be followed by the music of Charles Chauvet, Audite nous Marie. You are also invited at this time to light a silent candle of joy or sorrow. I always look forward to the return of the red candle. Tells me the seasons have changed. Our words this morning are from that very prolific and wise author anonymous. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other.
I'm waiting in the silence. I am waiting for the dawn. I am often found in reverence, though from many sources drawn. It is not mine to fight for justice, for it will not be won this day. I am peace, and I am waiting for the lost to find their way. Suffering from their anger and their pain. Only open doors of insight, so the healing can begin. To the proud I am elusive, to the humble I am near. May the broken
Good morning. Oh, that'll do. That'll do. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Worcester, a congregation of love, hope, and justice, inspiring people to take on the challenges of a changing world. My name is Payson, and I am honored to be one of the ministers of this congregation. We begin by acknowledging that in Worcester, Massachusetts, we work, learn, live, and worship on the seized ancestral homeland of the Nipmuc people who survive and remain active as the Nipmuc Nation. We offer a special welcome to those of you who are new or visiting us for the first time. We are delighted that you're here. And we hope that you'll join us in Fellowship Hall following the service for refreshments and conversation. If you have questions or desire more information about this service or any of the ministries and programs of this congregation, please do not hesitate to ask. We invite you to fill out one of the cards found in the pews. These cards can be placed in the offering plate or given to one of the ushers or greeters this morning. For those of you joining us online this morning, we offer you a very special welcome. For safety purposes and so that we might come to know you better as you're able, please place your name on your video feed. Please take a moment to sign one of the attendance clipboards that are making their way around. Though you are not obligated to sign, we appreciate your information. We'll use it only for church purposes. During the service, we offer an opportunity to share a brief joy or sorrow. If you'd like to have yours read aloud by me, please print it on an index card in the pew and drop it in the collection plate when it comes around, or bring it forward at that time in the service. These cards will also be posted outside my office to be shared with our friends at other services. For those online, you are welcome to place a joy or sorrow in the chat. Please precede it by the words, "Please read," so that we can find it quickly and share it during this time of the service. In the foyer, there are listening devices and large print service programs and hymnals for those who might find their assistance beneficial. There are also cushions for those of you who need them. You know who you are. Please see one of the ushers who will be pleased to assist you. I invite you now to turn your technology to worship mode. Finally, please note the announcements on the back of the order of service this morning. There will be time for short verbal announcements following the postlude. We are so grateful that you are here, and we hope this morning is an opportunity for rest, reflection, and rejuvenation.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Robin Mitskovich, and I just wanted to make a quick announcement before I go off to teach my class. Yesterday, we had a big craft fair here. This entire place was full of crafters and vendors. The aisles were lined with baskets to bid on, and the auction was set up in the back. Today, the auction is still set up in the back for your viewing pleasure and for you to bid on. And the basket raffles are still there, and you can buy tickets in their lovely baskets. The tickets are $1, or you can buy 100 of them and get a discount. And we have QR codes, and some of them have it in your orders of service, but we have QR codes where you just scan and you can look at all of our awesome auction items. But yesterday, between the table rentals and the auction, first day of the auction, day one of the auction, it continues until next Sunday. So we have 6 more days of this auction, right? So, and with the basket raffles and with the snack bar, we have already made $4,900. So today, with our continued raffle sales and bidding, and all week worth of bidding, we may really meet that $10,000 goal. 100,000, wow. We may make $1 million. Okay. So, but I wanted to acknowledge Anna Gregory, who did all the work for the auction. I'd like to acknowledge Kirsty Johnson Erickson, who set up all the vendors, and the many people who came and volunteered yesterday, and all of you who donated things for the auction and the baskets. Thank you.
Apparently, Santa yesterday also handed out more candy canes than are allowed in any one given place, so grateful for that. Our opening words this morning are those of the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. As people of faith and wonder, we welcome in the delight of mystery the awe of unfolding adventures, the expansiveness of what it means to behold mystery as a gift to the imagination. Too often we relax into routines, find comfort in old habits, and give in to the confines of our lives. In this time of worship together, may our hearts be nudged open to what may be. May our spirits be wrapped in curiosity to seek mystery and welcome her in. May our time together this day remind us to stay open, stay inquisitive of what we do not yet understand, and be inspired to stretch ourselves into new ways of being. Welcome, mystery. Welcome into our hearts and our time of worship together. Would you please rise in body or in spirit and join together in the singing of hymn number 226, found in your gray hymnals.
People look east, the time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. People look east and sing today. Love the guest is on the way. Girls, be glad the earth is bare. One more seed is planted there. Give up your strength, the seed to nourish. That in cause the flower may flourish. People look east and sing today. Love the rose is on the way. Stars keep watch midnight is dim. One more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather. Bring the sun and moon together. People look east and sing today. Love the star is on the way.
Please be seated. Now I invite those of us here who will be bearers of Change for Change to come forward with their baskets. For those of you who are newest among us, this is a weekly opportunity for our Religious Exploration Program participants to contribute to the ongoing ministry of the Emergency Fund of the congregation. If you have change to share today, please raise your hand so that one of our basket bearers can find you quickly. You're welcome to bring your baskets toward me and to head for a wonderful day of learning and friendship and fun.
Love surrounds you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Louise Connor writes, sometimes, particularly in the holiday season, lists of things to think about and do can consume us. Amen? That is what practices like driving every evening to watch the sunset are for. They make a hollowed out space in our time so that we can give attention to something besides the problems and the solutions that wait in the snaking line for their turn at the front of our mind's attention. A day's diversions are myriad and often speak very loudly into our ears. In fact, they don't seem like diversions, they seem like essentials, as do all problems that wake us up in the middle of the night. Because of this, habits of mental Sabbath are good practices to have. But sometimes it is the moments that are just plain given to us out of the blue that embody the mystery most fully, when that quiet mystery becomes present to us in spite of ourselves. Sometimes the mystery elbows into our consciousness through a pool of light made by a full moon in a dark room. Sometimes it appears with an apology we had given up on hearing. Sometimes it comes from laughing so hard at a shared joke that we find ourselves in tears. When this happens, we find ourselves gobsmacked by the wonder of what we have been given in this life, and we are able to see the people and things themselves rather than just the worry or concern we surround them with. The most essential thing we can do is to revel in them and say, thank you. Would you like to hear some good news? Yes. Oh, you're going to have to do much better than that. This is really good news. Would you like to hear some really good news? Yes. Excellent idea. So Robin has already told you good news today, but I want to tell you this place was jammed yesterday. I mean, the number of people that it took to set this place up over the course of 3 days was enormous. There were many hands on deck, not just for those who were crafting and involved in the process of setting up the space. There were people who made food, who spent their day cavorting with newcomers. People who come to this place for our craft fair also discover this place, and so many wondered, what is this about? Which is extraordinary news for us, that we continue to be something that people discover, as it were. And it is delightful that so many people have spent so much of their energy and their time, their talent, their treasures, and just being themselves here. It is wondrous and wonderful. The other good news is this tree. This wonderful tree beset with all kinds of hats and gloves and scarves that will go to people for whom this is not, they're not just hats, gloves, and scarves, they are communications that they are loved, that they are remembered, and that they have the capacity to survive what will obviously be a very cold season. I hope that these hats, gloves, and scarves find their way to people who need them, but more to the point, I hope that those people find their way here so that we might also embrace them as beings worthy of being in community. They are not other, they are us. And that is essentially great news. Also, we have our shoe boxes that are going out in another week or so, and the drop-off is going to be today in Fellowship Hall for those of you who have shoe boxes for our youth at the African Community Education, and next week and the week after as well. So that's my way of saying the wonderful news is that we have, how many did we do shoe boxes this year? Done 78 of 82 kids. That's remarkable for this congregation. So these are all good news and wondrous ways for us to continue to serve those in need in our community, but also to celebrate their presence among us. And the other 4 will be seen too. So excellent. That's our good news. And it is in service to that good news and so many other things that go on here that we, each time that we come together for worship, take up an offering in service to the ministries and mission of this congregation. So I invite you to pull out your wallet and to give it to the person behind you so that they can give the offering they've always wanted to give here. If you would like to contribute digitally, you're welcome to text 508-231-5335. Those of you who are online or those of you here that prefer to do a digital offering, you're welcome to use that number, 508-231-5335. This time, our morning offering will be received. I invite you to remain seated and join together in hymn number 232, found in your gray hymnal. The
Angels are bare in Bethlehem, no future for the world they show, yet here new life begins to grow. From earth's sole dust, a greenwood stem, the stars are cold at Bethlehem, no warmth for those beneath the sky, yet here the radiant angels fly, and joy burns new, a fiery gem. The heart is tired at Bethlehem, no human dream unbroken stands, yet here God comes to mortal hands, and hope renews, cries out, Amen.
We come to that time in our service when we're given pause to consider what is deepest in our hearts or most profoundly on our minds or in the work of our hands in the days that have transpired or in the prospect of days to come. Joys and sorrows that touch us deeply and are given another measure of meaning because of our capacity to share them in the midst of a company that claims us as a co-journeyer. So I invite those of you who have joys or sorrows this day to come forward and form lines on either side of the sanctuary, to come and speak briefly into the microphone, telling us first who you are, so that those using our auditory enhancement devices might also participate in this important ritual, and then to light a candle if you so desire. Or if you would like me to read your joy or sorrow aloud, please bring it up on an index card, and I'll be glad to do that. For those of you who are online, once again, you're welcome to place a joy or sorrow in the chat feed. Please precede it by the words, please read, so that we can find it quickly and share it accordingly. Are the joys or sorrows to be shared this day? Yep, should be. There it is.
All right, hi, I'm Chris Billiard. I have a joy. My son's starting to go to the JCC, not the JCC, the YMCA. Used to go to JCC, and he has a mentor, a personal trainer, and he's loving it. And he was honored. His personal trainer was honored at the gala on like before last. Who is a cancer survivor, lives strong, and he told this story. And he gave huge props to Barry, who was his mentor, and got him to where he is right now. So thank you, Barry.
Nancy Hancock, I won't trip over the wire today. I want to thank Leo and the Garden On Committee for the absolutely gorgeous holiday decorations on the altar today.
And I continue to shrink, so who knows, in a few years how low this will be. So I'm Beth Posner-Waldron, and I'm going to finish by lighting a candle for something I'm just so conflicted about, what's going on in Israel and Palestine. Being the daughter and the the legacy of Ashkenazi Jews in Russia. My grandparents who came at the beginning of the century, if they had not, I mean, who knows if my family would not have settled in Israel. Anyway, so that's what I'll do at the end. But the main thing I wanted to share, which is on a high note, is I got to spend Friday morning and all day yesterday helping out with the crafts fair set up in the auction, and with Robin and Anna and Christy and so many other volunteers. And I'm just so impressed with the creativity and the items that Anna gleaned from her father, some photographs that he took. We hate to give away things that were our parents or maybe are ours, but so if there are things like that that you can't get rid of, put them in the auction next year. And for Robin, I just have to say, she's going to quilt anyway. And the people that are in the fiber group that they now call themselves, there's so many items that are in the auction because of that. And I do believe that the auction would not happen without Robin's volunteering. And basically, when we hear the numbers of the amount of money raised, she's volunteering and raising money to pay her salary for this amazing RE director that we have.
Hi, my name is Marty, or Martha, whichever you want to call me. And I want to thank everybody for turning me on to this place, especially Pastor Aaron. I'm on the board of Worcester Fellowship, and I've been coming here for a little while since Aaron has so graciously been able to help us. I also want to thank you for your lovely tree. That will help a few people. And I also want to say that I know there are a lot of people that are on the street. One person in particular, I want to say a prayer for. He has no identification. He's been living in an apartment on his own for a few years now, and they just made him go out on the street because he has no identification because of the new rules in housing or whatever. Now he has no place to go. So I don't know what we're going to do for him, but just pray for Carrie in prayer that he can find shelter again, especially and especially for all the people that are out on the street in this holiday season. That's all.
Hi, my name is Paul, speaking from the choir mic. I watch a lot of people that come in here, and I notice when the people are not here for a while. I haven't seen Chuck in this. I hope he's okay. Does anybody know the status of Chuck? Because I know he was going through some stuff. And also, what was senior moment? I'll leave it at that.
I'm mindful today, as this card is also mindful, that it was 24 years ago when we watched in horror as the cold storage building in Worcester went up in flames and took with it the incredible presence of 6 of Worcester's firefighters. In some ways, that was the threshold moment for me, as I had begun in August of that year in ministry here. And the night that the fire happened, one of my previous EMT partners, when I worked in Waltham, called me and said, "Why aren't you down there?" I said, "I don't go unless I'm invited." He said, "Aaron, this is not the time for you to just follow the rules. Go." And so I called the Mass Corps fire chaplains, and I said, "Are you going to need help?" And they said, "Yes." And so within 12 hours, found myself on site working in the crisis intervention tent, where we sat with families that waited to find out where their loved ones were. And I happened to have been present when firefighter Lucy was found, and to work with his family. I was amazed this morning to hear that 7 of the children of those 6 firefighters are now Worcester firefighters themselves. And it tells me something about the resiliency, not just of this community, but of the families who are committed to continuing to care for our community in extraordinary ways and heroic ways. I'm also mindful today of Stuart Howe, who is retired fire chief for the city of Worcester, has been an active member of this congregation, and on the Sunday after the fire came forward and laid roses on our altar in honor of his 6 co-workers. This is a memory that has stayed with me since then and will stay with me. It is something we ought not forget. Tonight at 6 p.m., members of the Worcester community will gather near the Franklin Street station in order to have an annual honoring of those lives and so many other lives that have been lost since then. Yes. You want to come forward, or let me bring you the mic?
My name is Leslie. I hadn't thought of this in a long, long time, but, and I don't remember the names, but there were the firemen, but it started because a couple
Because of a
was
homeless
in a warehouse.
Yeah.
And I have always carried guilt, not the greatest word, but I worked in a social service position where I had, that young woman had come seeking emergency shelter that day. I don't know if I'm gonna get this out. But, and I had to send her away until the next day. I can't even remember what the stupid red tape was. Well, I didn't have a home to give her. I mean, you know, somehow she walked out of my office with me not having solved her problem. And when that happened, I just couldn't believe it. And thank you for reminding me of that incredibly painful moment. But anyway, I just had to get that out of my.
Thank you. Thank you. So many lives were touched, and we're mindful of the circumstances that can contribute to tragedies. Unintended circumstances, ways that we look back and wish we had, and understand that part of that is our desire to want to have a different outcome. Let's be in the spirit of prayer, shall we? Spirit of life, we come to this moment full of memory. Help us also remember the capacity to bring to bear a different future. The past is elusive at best, but we have the capacity to be and to demonstrate a difference. The way we care for each other, the way we remember each other into community, the way that we bear whatever it is that we have in the moment so that we can break open possibilities. We are grateful this day, and we honor the spirit of this season that bids us dwell deep within ourselves and deeper still with each other in order that we might be able to envision something far more peaceful, far more just, far more meaningful, and far more true, because we have the courage to face not just our past and presence, but to also envision something new. Help us birth that newness. Help us bring forward that possibility in ways that make for life and love, hope and justice. And dare we ask for peace. Amen. And blessed be. Recent archaeological survey uncovered an as yet unknown ancient manuscript containing an illuminating conversation between two of Hebrew and Christian scripture's most important personalities. The following has been translated to date. Gabriel, my most beloved, trusted friend, come in, please have a seat. Thanks. Michael said your message was urgent, and I figured if it's urgent for you, it must be urgent for all of us. What's up? Well, how do I say this? I'm in a bit of a predicament. You in a predicament? That's rich. Oh, I get it. Did Satan put you up to this? That little narc? He's always trying to get me in trouble. I tried to tell him that I said, gosh darn, but he wouldn't listen. No. But it's true. That's what I said. Ask anyone. Ask Michael. Wait till I see him next week. I've got an itch to give him a piece of my mind, that little tattletale. No. Satan has nothing to do with this. This is something just between you and me. No one else knows yet, and I don't want them to know yet either. So I have a special job for you. Great. What is it? Want me to smite someone, rain down hail and fire, give them the old what for, so to speak? No. Now listen, I need you to make a couple of house calls for me. House calls? Why? What did you do? Well, I'll tell you, but swear you won't tell anyone else. Okay, yes, what? What? You didn't. How could you? She's supposed to marry soon. What will the neighbors think? How many times do we have to tell you not to play around down there? It's not Disneyland, you know. I wasn't playing. And you've got it all wrong. I'm involved every time a child is born. It's all holy. But this one, there's something about this one that's unique. Not that they aren't all unique and wonderful in their own way, but this one's got an old soul, something rare. He's got it in him to spin a story so well and so beautifully that it'll make your heart burst from your chest. And like so many others before him, he's got integrity and wisdom beyond his years. In fact, he's got the capacity to be present to others in a way that I'll bet they'll swear they were healed right there on the spot. Isn't that a bit dangerous? I mean, what if Herod finds out? What if Caesar gets winds of this new dreamer? How is it going to look when the powers that be come crashing down on him? I haven't thought that one through yet. Want to give him a chance to love them first. That's where you come in. Right. Where I come in. Right now, I mean. I want you to go down there and tell his mother and father that the baby's coming. Let them know how special this one is. Give them a sense of their place in this miracle. Right. Well, wrong. Not that you're wrong, but I think you've got the wrong guy. This sounds more like a job for Michael. Remember the last time you sent me down there? Daniel, I think is his name. I'm much better explaining things rationally. If you're confused, I'm the guy. But I don't like this sentimental stuff. Besides, every time I show up, I scare the daylights out of someone. I don't like it. But that's why I chose you. Seems to me that we need a bit of reason in all of this, and someone who's had some experience dealing with others in difficult times. Besides, this is a skill that might suit you to learn. Skill? What skill? What skill do I need to learn? Presence. Presence? Presence. All you need to do is deal gently with them. They're already frightened. Young, about to be married, now with child and no real place to call home. Go. Remind them that they're not alone. Remind them of how precious they are. Let them know that whatever happens, I'm with them, and then just stand there with them. Surround them with all the joy you can muster. Joy. What's joy? I'm certain that I recognize confusion, and I can be compassionate, but joy, that is something entirely different. Joy, my friend, is a feeling of fullness, a feeling of gratitude, of love, of ecstasy, all wrapped up into one sensual feeling. It is being so full of life that you can't get that manna-eating grin off your face. It's remembering in the face of all the world would rob you of memory, of dreams, and of hope, to remember where you come from and what you are for and whose you are. It's that feeling that takes you beyond the things of life to the core of your existence. And there it lights a fire that burns with the intensity of unfathomable warmth. Oh, I get it. Joy. It's kind of happiness writ large. Not just happiness. Unconquerable happiness. Happiness that transcends any given worry or hurt or fear or frustration. It's about the heart of things. Like I said, maybe this is Michael's, the one you want for this. I don't really think, look, would it help if you didn't have to go alone? You mean I could take the whole bloomin' choir if you want. Make it a party. Enjoy each other. Remind them that it's important to share joy with those you love, with friends and with family and neighbors and strangers you meet in the marketplace. Remind them that they too can be angels unaware. Okay, who's first on your list? Mary. Really? Don't you think she already knows? She's probably got an inkling. But I want her to know, in spite of her confusion, that she's not alone and what this is about is holy business. Okay, who's next? Joseph. Ouch, really? Don't you think he's going to freak out a bit? I mean, wouldn't you? Well, perhaps. But he's a bit of a hothead sometimes, aren't we all? I think he'll come around. Okay. Then when you have time, the shepherds. If not, send the choir. Shepherds love music. So about this tendency to frighten people, what do you recommend? How about this? Be not afraid. Tell them straight out from the start you mean them no harm, that you bring them peace and tidings of joy. You think that'll work? Probably not. Fear is a natural response to unexpected circumstances. They'll learn to trust you if you continue to be present with them. Accompany them for a while. Let them know they're not alone. Give them an excuse to play their instruments and join in the singing. You know, play with them. Enjoy the experience with them. Well, all righty then. Guess we should get started. Anything else? Oh, yes. On your way home, pick up some Arabic coffee. I get the feeling this is going to be a very long night. So this is your minister's imagination at work. The text upon which this narrative are based paint a bit of a different picture, as most of you are probably aware, but for me, they obscure the humanness of the moment when Mary and Joseph find out that she is pregnant. Furthermore, the way in which the story has evolved over the millennia has layered theological justifications that serve the purpose of religious power more than theological truth, related to the birth of one radical rabbi. And two, if you also include the birth of John the Baptist in the mix. What I gain by stripping this narrative down to its base human experience is something I find more powerful than a declaration of the unique natures of the children yet to be born, and more a contemplation of what it is that we do when we are confronted with news that startles us, frightens us, gives us pause to consider what, in fact, our priorities are. The scripture contains clues to this. In the gospel, according to Luke, when the angel Gabriel visits Mary, her response is quite normal. Who, me? You have got to be mistaken. I am too young for all of this to be real. Remember the word virgin, you know, the contested state of Mary that has been layered with so much theological gobbledygook from the beginning of time. If you look at the etymology of the word, it just meant young woman. The young woman who says to the voice that is reminding her, that's telling her something about herself that she cannot imagine, who says it's impossible. Where does the impossibility come from? So this phrase that sticks out to me in the text, Gabriel's response to her confusion is this: for nothing will be impossible with God. All right, stop twitching. What I contemplate with this pronouncement is not the existence or non-existence of the divine, but the way in which this serves to break open the limitations that we often set for ourselves or those that are set upon us. It's the limitations that that particular phrase is speaking to, not the theological justification for believing in something beyond ourselves, except for this. And here I go back to the words of one of my favorite theologian and public prophetic voices, Cornel West. Think about what West has said about hope again, where he says it doesn't look good at all. We're going to have to go beyond the evidence to create new possibilities based on new visions that become contagious, to allow people to engage in heroic actions, always against the odds, no guarantee whatsoever. It is this process of being confronted with reality and for someone in our lives to say, you're not stuck in what you've been told you are, either by virtue of the way that you've been raised in a particular family system or a culture that will continue to marginalize you if you let them. How many of you can think of people in your lives that served that purpose, who said you do not have to be defined the way you are defining yourself? You do not have to pick up the ways in which the world has already constrained you because of the way you look, your gender or gender expression, the way that you are physically, your geography, your level of education, the way that you dress, how old you are. How many of you have people in your lives that reminded you that you are more than any of those things, and that there are possibilities yet to be explored? Imagine as young children if we had all had that message, right as we were coming into our own and having to deal with the way in which the world wanted us to be, and yet we knew that we needed to be something different. We have all had angels unaware in our midst, the Gabriels of our existence that showed up at those moments when we were least expecting it and reminded us that we didn't have to be the way we were. The mystery at the heart of this encounter is not the revelation about God, but the revelation that we often live in the smallness of our lives, succumbing to the definitions that have been dealt to us. Young, poor girls are not supposed to be the route to greatness, according to the culture in which Mary resided. Is it much different for us today? How many of us have felt as though our culture constricts what it is that we are supposed to be and able to accomplish, and how that accomplishment is supposed to play out? How many of us recognize the power of possibilities that are illumined for us by those who refused to be so defined? Perhaps you too have been visited by that angel who spoke truth to you about what you were capable of. Perhaps you have confronted your own limitations with the gratitude that's born of those around you who reminded you that you are more than the way you have been defined or the circumstances in which you find yourself in any given moment. You see, the mystery here, and that of the Advent season itself, is that it is one more opportunity to pause and consider what it is that is growing and waiting to give birth in each of us. What spark of the holy is waiting to arrive in and through you? And what do you need to do to welcome that particular mystery into your life? With joy and with love, and perhaps with a little bit of Arabic coffee. Amen, and blessed be. Would you please join in our litany number 653, found in your gray hymnals. Dory Janine Summers writes, How short the daylight hours have now become, how gray the skies, how barren seem the trees. But there is that in me which reaches up toward light and laughter, bells and carolers. Because it speaks the truths of older myths. And babes are hope and saviors of the world as miracles abound in common things. Please join in hymn number 1060 found in your hymnal supplements. Please rise in body or in spirit. Hope and joy today, so now only anguish and despair. How can we lift our voices in this way, while some have pain and misery to spare? Let this song our greatest hopes contain. After all the wealth and chariots too, its peaceful cities new. Sing of joy, our age, Steve Garnis Holmes writes, "May the peace of deep belonging settle upon you. The abundance of life's goodness surround you. Beloved, the mystery envelop you. The wonder embrace you. The breath of life flow through you always. Amen, and blessed be." Please be seated. We have a moment for quick verbal announcements. You can just come to the microphone.
This is weird. Everything echoes in those headphones. If you want to meet some virtual people for fellowship hour, this is what they look like. I will be sitting by the piano and they will be on Zoom with me, and I have my headphones. You can come say hi. And maybe we can build a little bit closer of a community together. I have no idea who's coming or how many will show up because this is a first, but I hope you come visit us. Oh, I'm Cheryl Lachey, by the way. I know you haven't seen me in a long time. I'm gonna wobble out of here, nobody laughs.
It's Soup Sunday, so there is chicken noodle soup and sweet potato and carrot soup, so do come and enjoy.
Yep, $5, but if you don't have money, don't worry about it. You'll get soup anyway.
I'm manning the poinsettia table today, so if anybody still would like to donate in memory of one of their family members, I'll be just inside the door at Fellowship Hall.
We are up here to announce again, it's game night this Friday. Come on down. Please register online. The link is in the message so that we know how many pizzas Ken's going to pick up.
Sign me up for 3. No.
Bring a game, bring a friend, bring a snack. It's a grand old time. Yeah. Usually the first Friday, but this time it's the second Friday because of the craft fair. So come on down.
Good morning. My name's Catherine, and I coordinate coffee hour. And I really very much thank you for participating and helping it be such a welcoming event after our services. And I'd like to invite each and every one of you to take a look at this sign-up sheet and either sign up to bring something, or help set up, or help serve and help clean up. Because otherwise, it's kind of just me. So I'd really appreciate a hand. It's more fun if a couple other people show up to help out. So thank you.
I am just up here to recruit for choir. We're coming up to Vespers in a few weeks. And we'll have a rehearsal on this Thursday night at 6:30. And we'll also have rehearsal before and after service next Sunday. So if you're interested, please come. Please come. We love to have as many voices as we can have.
Hi, I'm Anna Gregory, and I just wanted to let people know, if they haven't seen all the beautiful items at the back there, we have the auction display for everyone who would like to bid on any item in our auction. It's over 140 items. Some of the items are back there, and we have the raffle baskets and other items from crafters that were left over from yesterday's craft fair. You can still put in your ticket. It is a $1 ticket, 6 tickets for $5, and if you put your ticket in, you may win. So take
I
a
would
look.
strongly invite you to make your way to Fellowship Hall through the lounge, right? Come back around. Line goes in this way, and then you come out this way and go to Fellowship Hall. I think that our worship has ended. Our service continues next with an opportunity to see wonderful things and eat wonderful food.